Hello and welcome to Catching Up with Boruto, the podcast about catching up and first impressions of the anime Boruto. Better late than never, that's our ninja way. Hello and welcome to Catching Up with Boruto. My name's Johnny.
And I'm Trey.
What's up, guys? So, today, Trey is back, and he is married. He's been
ladies.
fiddling around with his left hand a lot today because he's getting used to it. Yeah.
I play with that thing all the time. I take it off, put it on the other fingers, put it back on.
My knuckles are all, broken from, wrestling because you'd, land in the mat and, messes up with your knuckles. So when I first got my, actual, metal ring, it was always, cutting and jamming. So I had to get one of these rubber ones because it just was not comfortable until then.
I have one, and I probably should start doing it for my my job in general. Because there have been times where I'm grabbing stuff. Exactly. I grab it, and I'm like, ow, that hurts my hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just always forget to switch it out.
Oof. Yeah, well. But anyways, guys, yeah, Trey's back. So I'm very glad about that because last week I was trying to, wing it, and I think if you counted how many times it said, I don't know. It's probably longer than the list of episodes that we've done so far. But anyways, so I actually thought after last episode, we were going to get some filler episodes right away.
Too.
And after I watched this episode, I was like, we have to do a whole episode for this one.
I'll be honest, when it started up, I kind of, as the episode was going through, I kind of felt like it was just going to be a filler because it was a slow start, to be honest. It was some information, but it wasn't too much.
Right.
But then as we get going, all of a sudden it got a little bit more.
The last 10 minutes, I was like, what is going on? We had, 3 huge things at the end. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, I definitely got very excited in that time frame.
Oh, yeah. Wait, yeah, this is episode 15, right? I named it that, but I'm not sure if I'm right on that.
Pretty sure it's 15.
I'm pretty sure it's right. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and talk about episode 15 of Boruto.
Boruto Uzumaki has arrived on the scene, you know?
All right. Man, I'm actually getting, I'm memorizing these sound pads now because usually I'm messing up and trying to read my little cheat sheet right here. But yeah, so episode 15, obviously last episode we just got done with Nue and Sumire trying to blow the place up and Boruto's eye just going crazy in that episode. That was the most we've ever seen it.
I honestly thought that whole series was going to last longer than one episode though too. I mean, I guess it was kind of 1.5 because it kind of kicked off in episode 13, but I thought it was going to take a little longer than just one episode to be done.
Yeah,
with it.
12 episodes, and then it's just done, and she changes her mind.
Yep, pretty much.
That's what I was kind of I thought this would be get a little bit more, or people dying. Nobody really died, as far as I know.
No big deal. Nothing. I mean, they literally said in it, no one got seriously injured. So the whole time, I remember the first with Naruto, their first big build-up, it gets that first big fight that they're having with someone. I mean, it probably went on for 7 episodes.
Yeah, which I get these old fights with, in Dragon Ball Z where one Kamehameha lasts 3 episodes. I don't need that.
Oh yeah.
But this was super short. Yeah, stink bug on my light. They are everywhere right now.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, my gosh, they're in this room a lot.
Oh, yeah, dang.
Anyways, so let's just go ahead because I'm already wanting to, jump in this episode and start talking about some things. But, yeah, so last episode, Boruto's eye was going crazy, doing all sorts of stuff, teleporting, seeing chakra points. So now we know his eye can, see chakra points like the Byakugan.
It's ooh.
And as far as I remember, the Sharingan doesn't do the chakra points thing. It helps
it
anticipate
just sees anything that they're about to do and how they do it and all that
right. Stuff. And I do remember it can see the just chakra on the outside, I think, because they've been able to see the chakra strings from the puppet users. I think I'm right on that. I'm not sure, but not the chakra points. So Boruto's eye, when he's able to see that, that's kind of like the Byakugan.
It's like a hybrid Byakugan.
And I mean,
something going on.
So maybe it's like a hybrid situation. But then what else is it with? Like, Naruto doesn't have any special stuff besides the Sage Jutsu, but that's something you learn.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But anyways, so now on to this episode, though. I just wanted to do a quick recap, because that's
kind of
like
a
a
pretty big
season
and important.
almost done.
Yeah, pretty much.
But so everything's back to normal. And they kind of say that Sumire really, she just confessed to everything. This is Sai talking. I think, I didn't write this part down, but I think they're in the Hokage's office.
I think they were outside.
Actually, no, they're outside.
So
Yeah,
like
it's
Shikamaru,
Naruto,
Sai,
and
Sai.
Yep. But they're outside saying, well, she confessed to everything. So, and then, they're kind of asked like, well, Naruto said like, why did she stop? Or actually, Shikamaru did. But then Sai said that Boruto and his friends, just like the thought of them and them being there, that's why she stopped. You kind of saw like Naruto kind of, because that's Naruto's thing. He helps change people.
Yep.
But then, so just the thought of destroying her friends in the village and her friendships, she couldn't go through with it. So then Naruto kind of says he understands because, she didn't choose her parents. So he's he's been through this a lot with like the people's parents or whoever raised them. That's what was like a driving force to these people being bad. Oh, yeah. And it's not their fault.
If you don't know any different, then how are you going to?
Right.
That's just what you learn.
Yeah, so we already see Naruto sticking up for Sumire, and of course Sai wants to stick up for her because same foundation situation. Wow, that was title of the episode, Foundation situation. Well, it doesn't really go with this one. Dang it, that would have been good.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
Shikamaru doesn't seem to really be happy about it.
No.
He's definitely. I mean, he's always been the pessimist of the group anyway. But he's kind of just like, well, how could she ever go back? Like, what could we like? Are you sure we were like really trusting her now? Like, she did just try to destroy the village. She may have backed out of it, but she didn't back out before she really attempted to. She still caused a lot of damage.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, which honestly, like, let's be honest, I agree with Shikamaru in this situation, where everyone else is just a little too trusting for my taste.
Yeah, especially when it's like, it just happened. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like, well, it's been like 2 years. I mean, yeah.
Like,
so.
she hasn't done anything to build trust besides just not blowing up the village, which I feel like is pretty low bar to set.
Yeah, that's like a criminal, but then they're not willing to murder. Oh, they're trustworthy. No, they're not.
No, definitely not.
Yep.
Anyway, so we fast forward a little bit. So we go into a little bit what we haven't seen in a while, which is actually the Boruto and his friends in actual class at the academy with I want to say Shikamaru. That's not right. Shino Sensei.
Yep.
And so they're still outside because remember back in like episode, I don't know, 3 or 4 where they blew up the entire academy. So,
Yeah. Yep.
So they're still outside. Clearly they have not gotten the builder. The builder's not been there yet. But he does start talking about how it should be back to normal pretty soon. So they're getting there, and soon class will be inside, which is just kind of entertaining.
Yeah. Come on. There's no wood style users that could just build this thing real quick.
Like, literally, where's Captain Yamato? He could have just taken care of that in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I guess it won't look that nice, but
I don't know. It looks pretty fancy whenever he does stuff.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
They can put siding on later.
Yeah.
No big deal.
This has been a while though, because they like blew up everything, and then it's like they're still building it. So I think it'll be really funny if they just like end up like right when it gets built, just tear it down again.
That would be entertaining.
Yeah, Shino would be in big trouble. But.
Yeah, just a bit. So they're having class, but they're talking about how they're going to be, what they're going to be doing, and they're going to be breaking up into new 3-man teams. So remember I think it was probably 2 or 3 episodes ago. I think Boruto was with Mitsuki and Denki, and they were kind of doing their little obstacle course. And the whole point of that was really just to try out a bunch of different combinations of the students to figure out what works best and how are they going to be working together. So they asked if they have to be new teams specifically, and Shino tells them yes. So Boruto's trying to figure it out, and Mitsuki still wants to follow along with Boruto in the most creepy stalker way ever.
Oh my gosh.
Boruto, I want to be with you. Well, why do you want to be with me? So I can watch you.
Yeah, so I can watch you closely. I think, yeah.
Something along those lines. I'm like, no. Like, why? That's creepy.
And Boruto, he must just have a big ego, because he's like, yeah, that's what you would say.
I thought so. Whatever. No
Makes
big deal.
sense.
Keep tracking me. Yeah. So I was like, that's a little weird. But they kind of figure out some of the stuff. They're trying to figure out who their third one will be. And because obviously it can't be Denki, even though because that was in their last team. So, but Denki's in there talking to him, and he's like, they're like trying to figure out who are they going to choose because there's not really anyone else that can really keep up with the two of them besides Iwabe. But Iwabe is working with Denki this round. So they're trying to figure out who the third's going to be. I was rooting for Sarada.
Yeah, I thought that's what was going to happen.
But no, they had. Well, at least I don't think they ever confirmed who the third person was going to be, did they? Oh wait, no, they did eventually. It was who was it actually? They didn't really show them in the battle.
Oh, with who is with Boruto?
Yeah.
It was Metal.
It was Metal. You're
He just
right.
got
I'm sorry.
scared super quick. He didn't do anything.
It was literally gone in a second. That's why I was like, who was it? Anyway, that's in the future. But as they're kind of talking, all of a sudden the classic team that we've seen, the Inoshikacho team, comes up, and they're kind of like, well, we were kind of hesitant to do this because we don't want to be team paired together just because our parents were paired together.
Yeah.
But they're like, and honestly, we really don't like each other very much, but we know our stuff works together, so we're just going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's kind of weird, but I mean, technically it does work, right? I mean, really the only difference is, what's his name now? Not Eno. So what's his name?
Inogen?
Yeah, Inogen. There we go. He's basically got I don't know if he's got the same style as, we haven't seen any of the mind switching stuff.
We haven't seen the mind
So he's got all the stuff from Sai. So I haven't seen any of that other bit, but Shino and Chocho are all exactly the same as Shikamaru and Choji.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure if he's got any of the stuff that Ino has.
Yeah, I'm sure if they're doing the Inoshikacho and they end up being teamed up together, that he will. But yeah, it is weird that he's really only doing like the art style stuff from Sai. And yeah, so we're only seeing one side of the stuff. With Chocho, we don't even know what her mom is or what she does, so that makes sense for her to be like Choji. But for Shikamaru, I was like, no wind style or anything?
Like none of that?
No like weapons or we're just doing the shadow stuff? Okay. So maybe they'll try.
I mean, they are still in their first year of the academy. I mean, hopefully they got a lot to learn, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe they will, I don't know, try to make them more well-rounded. Like, they're trying to get us, like, familiar with them, with their parents' jutsu, but maybe they'll, like, start doing new stuff. Because it is crazy that they can all already do all this stuff, like.
They're pretty highly skilled already.
Yeah. They're like, in the academy doing, what their parents were doing outside of the academy, so.
Yeah, so they've gotten very skilled very quickly. But so anyway, we kind of move in. Shikadai shows off just how much exactly like he is, like Shikamaru, how he immediately once Iwabe brings up his team. So it's Iwabe, Sarada, and Denki.
Yep.
And he immediately picks up their strategy of Iwabe leading the way while Sarada and Denki basically handle backup. And he's like, very simple, but well thought out and very good job.
Yep.
I think. And he's like, how did you even come up with that? And it's like, okay, he's just like his dad.
Yep.
Very thoughtful, very straightforward. So it's like, all right, it's definitely going to be a very similar team on that one. And it kind of keeps going around. They're trying to talking about stuff and talks about Boruto and how his eye just isn't kind of ever since the incident and ever since the shadow disappeared, it's just kind of stopped working.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have that Byakugan hybrid thing, whatever's going on. He's not seeing chakra points. Nothing's activated in the weeks or so, however long it's been since the incident. So it's kind of curious, like what's going on with that and what's happening.
Yeah.
And bringing that up, they're like, well, what about the class rep? Like, where is she? When's she going to return? Is she coming back to class and all that kind of stuff? Because he brought up the fact, or Mitsuki said earlier that he wanted the third person to be the class rep.
Right.
So it was like that, which honestly, that'd be a pretty interesting team. We found out she's a lot stronger than we thought she was.
Yeah.
Significantly stronger.
That would make sense because Mitsuki's really strong. Mm-hmm. Guessing Boruto, minus the shadow clones, is going to be really strong. We're not really sure of what style of jutsu he uses yet, right? He's only thrown things
seen anything
shadow
besides,
clones.
Yeah, I think that's all we've ever seen him do. I'm assuming he'll be able to use the Rasengan, but
yeah, that has to get passed down.
It has to.
That has to get passed down.
I mean, it did already get passed down to little brother.
Oh, Konohamaru.
Konohamaru. That's the guy I'm designed as in our stuff, but I can't remember his name. So I mean, it is at least going somewhere.
Yep.
But
he's confident. she's gonna come back.
Oh yeah.
Where everyone else doesn't know. So then we kind of fast forward to the principal's office. And it's Shino Sensei is talking with the principal, which his name is, what's his name?
I feel like it starts with a C.
I forget.
Yeah,
I forget.
Naruto's initial mentor.
Yeah, his first academy teacher. Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways, we're not even gonna worry about. We're gonna strike. That's one up.
Yep.
So anyway, so he's basically saying this. The report came on Sumire. So now, like, I guess, Anbu Black Ops, that kind of side, has finished the report, but she's involved in the academy, so the academy needs to, read the report. And then that she'll actually need to be under surveillance. So Shino Sensei is kind of like, he's taking it on himself, like, I want her back, and I'll like, personally watch out for her, like, make sure.
This is the most forgiving group of people I've ever heard of.
I know, seriously. And then, yeah, Shino just completely, like, she stole his chakra and almost made him kill his students.
Yeah.
But he wants to watch out for her, and he's, like, personally vouching for her. But basically, yeah, so the principal, I'm not even going to worry about saying his name. The principal kind of says, well, it's not really up to us at the end of the day. Like, if she's cleared, it's up to her if she wants to return, if she's cleared. And then so Shino kind of, like, just takes a step back because it's not even on him anymore. But then we end up going to Boruto, and he just opens his home, opens the door to his home, says I'm home, but then immediately kind of is, like, shocked because Naruto is at home. And it's like, it's not even at night. It's not even dinner time. He's there during the day. So he's already shocked, like, whoa, what are you doing here, Dad?
It's like, it's not a very good sign when you're like, whoa, my dad's actually home. That's strange.
I know. Maybe this is a good start because maybe he's not as busy because all this stuff isn't happening.
Could be.
So hopefully. But anyway, so then Boruto actually, he just straight up, like, he doesn't take too much time. And he just asks, if the class rep is going to return to the academy. Naruto's sitting here chilling with his daughter. He's not trying to, talk about business or anything right now. Well, Hokage stuff. And then Naruto's just kind of like, well, there's a lot of things to figure out. And he's, trying to, like, not give him an answer. But then Baruto's like, come on, you're the Hokage. I know you run this place. You can let her in. You have the power. But then Naruto's like, well, it's not just me. Like, I'm even bound to, like, rules and stuff. But then he said 2 different times that, just trust me. I'm not going to let her down. But then, yeah, like, it still doesn't seem like it's a good enough answer for Boruto.
But honestly, it's a very non-descriptive answer.
Yeah, and he was, like, straight up yelling at Naruto in the home, like, Hinata had to, like, call, here's a bunch of names. Hinata had to call Himawari.
Oh, Himawari.
Over because, like, Naruto and her were just trying to have a nice little time, and Baruto just starts yelling, so Hinata's like, all right, come over here, let them yell at each other. But, yep. Then we go to the next scene.
And it kind of just goes over to Sumire. She's in her cell, which doesn't really look like a cell. It's kind of like
looks like a hospital.
A little bit. It's like a hospital room that they're probably just being watched in, and Shino shows up there and he wants to talk to her because obviously we figured out he's taking a special interest in her and wants to make sure she's okay. And he's trying to make her feel better. And he really wants her to come back to school. So he's not really, he kind of took the spot from what the principal talked about. It's like, oh, like, she actually has to make the decision to come too. Like, so he's kind of going, I think he just kind of didn't want to be, he wanted to go show her, like, hey, I want you there and people want you there. So that way she kind of had that, I'm assuming that way so she didn't feel like everyone just absolutely hated her and didn't want her around.
Right.
Because, I mean, if I was in that position, that's the way I thought. I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to go back there. I'll just go somewhere else. And yeah, let's not worry about that too much.
Yeah, and even if only, like, a very select people know it was her, like, she's more just like, how can I go to school at the village that I tried to blow up?
Fair question.
Honestly, that'd be like, in our situation, that'd be like almost like someone who is involved in terrorism, you know, and then, you know, what it was like a product of like terrorist family. They're at your school planning to do something crazy in your city, and then they decide not to at the end, but they did all these plans, and they, you know, had their finger on the trigger.
They're about to do it,
but then they decide not to. Then it's like, yeah, I want to go back to that school. It's like, no, I don't want to go to that school.
No,
like,
thank
I'll
you.
start a new leaf. I'm sorry,
Pretty
but
sure
I
if
gotta
they
go.
went back, I would take my children out of that school and put them somewhere else. 100%.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, that's a stretch, but
It's kind of the
that's
same
kinda
situation.
what's, you know, this is a real situation here.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Moving on from that. But yeah, he talks about how he wants her to return to school, and he's talking about how they have the Ganzu Tenzo has been removed from her body, and her body is her own, and she can do what she wants to do now, and she's not under control of what her father wanted from her and what the foundation wanted and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, all right, we can get there. You can come back if you want to. Just think about, one, we want you there, and two, you can make your own decision. You're not being forced to by anyone. So it's kind of a good position to put her into, so she can kind of make her own choices and all that kind of thing. And then we just drastically switch places, and we're onto the battlefield. And so it's like, oh, we get this really like tense situation, and then also like, oh, and now we're on the battlefield of what the students are going to be doing.
yeah.
So we're at the battle training grounds, and they're at another building with scaffolding around it.
Yeah, they're at their school again.
Is it the school, or is it
It's the
separate
school,
one?
because at the beginning of the episode, they were still outside. So they were like getting the teams, but now I don't know if it's the next day or later that day. But now with the teams that they selected, they're in the same area. But you know, it's on one of the buildings. So it's like, why would you?
I don't know, especially with it's all scaffolding. Like, oh no, oh man. Basically, at the very top of the building is a series of flags, and the students are going to have to battle each other. So each 3-man teams, 2 at a time, go at it. They're fighting each other. They're saying like, okay, disrupting each other is allowed. So basically, fight and knock them off these buildings until one of you guys gets the flag, and that's how you win. So it's like, yeah, we've got a nice little mixture for disaster there.
Yeah, they have a like battle hall where the first episode.
Yeah, where's that been?
There's a place designed to fight, but he keeps fighting around the classroom.
Wait, was the battle hall in the school?
I don't know if it's in the school.
I bet it was, and now that got destroyed.
Okay, well that's true.
That makes a little more sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
never
funny.
mind. I guess that was Nue that destroyed it. So hopefully they can't destroy it again. Wasn't it Nue? Because it was like the tail.
Oh, yeah,
that
I guess
came out, the
technically.
summoning tail and everything.
Well, I don't know if that was Nue. It was just some random scroll that Boruto got and then summoned it. It was a scroll that was hidden in the closet.
No, I think it was his tail.
It looked like, but how did that have a connection to Nue? Because it was literally just sitting in the classroom.
Yeah, I don't know now
Yeah.
how. So maybe when he summoned, he didn't actually summon, and it was the class rep who performed a summoning jutsu.
Something came about. I don't know.
Maybe something with his eye. See, this is where it gets weird. Now that I'm thinking about that, how did that happen?
I don't know.
Because it was the tail, and that's what.
I mean, yeah, it was like something that kind of blew everything up. But I mean, whatever happened, he summoned from a scroll initially.
I remember we didn't
Like, it
get
was
to see
supposed
like
to be
the
the
full part of the
contract,
animal.
Yeah.
And then Konohamaru came with a giant Rasengan, just blew it up. Ooh, I'll have to go back and watch it now. That's interesting.
I don't remember what it was, but oh well. All right. So anyway, the one rule that Shino Sensei gave them is don't damage the school. Foreshadowing.
Yep.
For you people who don't know. So, the teams they kind of do a little series of other teams that are battling each other, go through. Honestly, they're mostly characters that we don't really know.
Yeah, they're just
Random ones. So then they start a battle with Boruto and his team. So Boruto, Metal, and Mitsuki versus Inashikacho. So it's like, all right, it's gonna be a good little battle. pretty much Metal or Shikadai just goes, "Hey, Metal, look, everyone's watching you," and he just becomes a little baby and wets his pants kind of situation.
Yeah, he was out of the picture in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Because that's just Shikadai is like he knows this
Smart
and he's
plan.
like, well, I'm just gonna I'm gonna use my knowledge, and I know he's super skittish, so make him skittish.
Might as well. It's a good plan for it, and
Yeah.
automatically brings it down to 3 versus 2.
Yep.
So, granted, it's 3 versus 2 at the 2 strongest pretty much in the school. So, we'll see how it goes. In that meantime, as the battle starts, Shino gets information, and he just says, "Wait, the class rep is what?" And then all of a sudden, just kind of freaks out, gives the clipboard to Sarda that says, "You're in charge now," and just takes off. So now he just left these students battling in front of an already heavily damaged school that he doesn't want destroyed with no actual adult supervision.
Yes, that's not a good idea.
No.
And also, does this mean that Sarada is the most responsible, minus
yeah.
the class rep, I guess?
Well, clearly the class rep's not the most
Yeah, she's not responsible anymore.
I mean, who would you put as more responsible than Sarada?
Yeah, see,
We also
he's
haven't
too
learned a whole
immature.
lot.
Like Shigadai is too mature right now because he's
point.
getting
He gets in
mixed
trouble
up.
with Boruto.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's not always doing the right thing. He's just he's strategizing and all that, but he's doing a lot of bad stuff and like
Yeah.
breaking the rules.
Yeah, I'd say Sarada's probably the most
Yeah.
responsible one of the entire group. But again, we haven't really learned a whole lot about her
We haven't.
yet. Not much.
Haven't seen any Sharingan or anything from her, whether that's awakened or not awakened. But at this point, I would almost feel like, yeah, it's awakened, and we're just gonna see it. But
I mean,
they use it
there
so
is
much.
in the first bit of the academy, so I mean, maybe not.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because
That's part I keep forgetting. Like, and I mean, as far as I can tell, Sasuke's not around, so it's not like he can really teach her. But it's also like usually it's like some massive loss that's what really drives the Sharingan to accomplish or come out.
It's like hate or love or something like that.
It's love, but it's definitely something.
Never seen that.
Yeah.
Because we've only really seen only a handful of people with the Sharingan, and it's always been like loss and hate that activates it. But hey, if you're listening right now and you're thinking about going away from this episode, just know that we have some Sasuke stuff to talk about by the end of the episode. So stay tuned.
Sasuke, what are we talking about? Anyway, so the teams are going after each other again, and Inoshikacho, they're pretty much winning. They're beating them pretty well. They Sai and Shikadai make a good little move on Mitsuki and get him stuck in the shadow. And it's kind of weird. Mitsuki's just nice and calm. He's like, "Oh, that's why you did that." He's like, "Boruto, can I try out my new technique?" Like, one, why do you got to ask Boruto for it? Two, I don't even know what it was. It looked like he just shot a sword out of his mouth.
I don't know if it was a sword or if it was just a
knife or
kunai.
something.
Yeah, like
it was just weird.
he was just keeping one down there just in case.
Which, again, who does that remind us of?
Yeah.
Clearly, he has something. Well, I mean, I guess we already kind of confirmed that a couple episodes ago.
I think at this point, we all know Orochimaru is his parent.
Yeah.
So,
Which
is kind of cool that we have a good Orochimaru. Good, in quotes.
Yeah. I mean, Orochimaru was good when he was in the academy, too.
You're right.
Went crazy. So, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, so as they're battling, like, Inoshikacho is winning. And so Mitsuki just, like, once he gets free of the shadow, he's like, "Oh, let's hit this one." And he just slices part of the scaffolding in half. And the whole thing collapses.
Yeah.
And then we just see Boruto on top of the building holding the flag, and they win. But again, I don't know if the whole building collapsed, but at least all the scaffolding collapsed.
Anything to win. I think that's kind of what they were doing there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They have no shame when it comes down to
Literally
it.
the only rule, and they broke it to win. So it's like, so that would be funny if we get seen like the next episode, like Boruto and Mitsuki get in trouble. But we'll see. But anyways, so then, so Mitsuki tears everything down to win. But then after that, Boruto hears Boruto hears that the class rep might actually transfer to another school because some kind of paperwork was started.
Yeah, it looked like Sai Inojin was talking about how his father all of a sudden had all kinds of paperwork about academies from other different locations, and he's like, and they just kind of jumped to the conclusion that, oh, well, maybe they're going to send her to a different academy instead.
Right.
And kind of just, obviously, Boruto kind of freaked out about it.
Yeah, because maybe Sumire beforehand was like, yeah, I should go somewhere else. But anyway, so Boruto, after he hears it, he's just like, no, this ain't happening, and actually starts to try to go after her. And he doesn't make it very far. He just like makes his mind up, starts kind of running. But then you see Shino Sensei kind of like is at like the gate of the academy, and they're all kind of pause because it's like, oh, he didn't come back with her. But then we, as like the watchers and the camera kind of goes behind the wall, and Sumari's kind of sitting there, really nervous. And to be honest, like it looks like she's like really ashamed. Like it took a while. They like spent some time on just like looking at her out on the outside because she's like tearing up and stuff, and like I don't even want to, like, I'm too ashamed to go in. But then she kind of like sucks it up and then goes around the corner. And after she goes around the corner, she kind of sits there for a second. I think she says like, hey, everyone, I'm back, or like in a very quiet voice, like Sumire would. So at least we know she wasn't like faking. Like the class rep we saw and how she is, that is her. So she wasn't faking being timid or any of this other stuff. But anyway, so everyone just starts like running towards her, welcoming her back, and it kind of overwhelms her because I don't think she expected that kind of welcome. If anything, it was almost like, well, I just want to be here to be around these people, even if they never accept me. But right from the get-go, they obviously don't know as well, so it might make a difference. But so everyone starts running at her, welcoming her back, and then she kind of meets eyes with Boruto, because Boruto knows, so like all the shame that she has, like she knows that Boruto knows that. And so he's kind of standing, he didn't run up to her, so he's kind of standing outside, and she meets eyes with him and kind of looks like, what's going to be his response? And then, he does the close eyes and smile with a thumbs up. Yep.
That one.
Yep. And then she starts like really tearing up and starting to cry because, he knows what she did and he's still accepting her. Yeah. So, that was kind of like a big moment for her. And this almost showed me too, as she was looking at him, it did that kind of like that light that Hinata, when she used to look at Naruto, it's like gets all glowy and stuff like that, how she used to look at him. Because I don't think that's how he looked in that moment. I think that's how she's seeing him in that moment. Like,
I would agree.
Like, you're my world kind of a thing. And, we got the timid with the main character again, and he will probably not notice forever and like somebody else. Or maybe he's different. I don't know. But
he's definitely going to like Sarada at first at some point, right?
That's what you would feel like, but I remember at like one of the beginning episodes, they said something like when Sarada's watching Boruto and Iwebe fight, they're like, hey, don't you guys know each other? And they're like, Sarada said something like, yeah, well, our parents know each other, but, like,
We're not
he's
really
kind
friends.
of an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how Sakura was with Naruto to begin with.
Yeah, you're right. True. Yep. But, so anyway, yeah, that kind of like ends. And then you almost feel like the episode's going to be over, but there's still so much left in this episode. That's crazy. So Trey,
much more in 5 minutes.
I want to let you. I actually kind of like timed these out, like because I do this one, you do this one, I do this one, you do this one.
All right.
I wanted to give you this next section because I thought you'd really like to talk about it.
All right, sounds good. So we go to the ending, and let's be honest, this is the first ending because there are apparently 2 mind-blowing endings. All right, so we see Naruto jumping through the forest, and he's kind of like, he's getting tired. Like, he's worn out. I'm like, dude, you're like the most ultimate ninja ever. How are you getting tired right now? And he's just kind of like climbing up the tree, like, worn out. And also you just see a guy in a cloak. Don't know anything about him at first. And also you hear him say, Sasuke? And he turns around, and we finally see Sasuke. Finally.
Woo!
He's there.
Just for Sasuke.
Like, finally, we got something with him. I'm like, oh, I got so excited, man. I was thrilled. So, I'm like, honestly, I kind of had to pause it for a second because I was like super excited because I was not paying attention to what's going on.
His hair's a little different. It's not as long. But he still has the over one eye, I think, assuming he still has a Rinnegan. That would look kind of weird if you're just walking down the street.
Look a little strange.
Yep.
Yeah, a little weird. But so Naruto hands him a scroll with a report, and looks like, from what it sounded like, it was something to do with Danzo and and what he was doing, and he was kind of like, he said, I can't believe Danzo got so close to was it Kogura's or Kaguga's hidden jutsu, and so I was like, oh dang, like this is going somewhere real interesting. So they didn't really explain much. They just kind of said that's all they kind of gave us on that bit.
Yeah, but to first explain why Naruto was really tired, Sasuke kind of like took a jab at him and was like, "What took you so long? Like why are you so slow?" And Naruto's just like, "Well, I'm just a clone." Yeah. So he's tired because he's probably really far away.
He asked where they were, and Sasuke was like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
So he's just somewhere off in the like massively far away.
Yeah.
And just trying to figure it out, and like, no idea what's going on. So we don't know what Sasuke's doing. It seems like it has something to do with Koga.
I spelled it wrong that time. Okay. It's I don't think I spelled it right either way, but it's like Kaguga. Kaguga.
It's such a weird name.
Kaguga. Yeah. I don't know.
When I heard it, I thought it was Kagura. I was like,
it could be. I've listened to the Japanese version, so it's like Kaguya.
Yeah. I think that was someone else though, like previously. Anyway, so then he starts talking about says that they may get closer to the time space that Kaguga created, which was like, interesting.
So in Shippuden, remember when she was like flashing them to like all these different kind of places and like, because they weren't doing too bad against her. Then she put them on that one that's like heavy gravity, so she was like all over the place. But I'm not sure actually if they're talking about a specific time space or if like just how to do it.
Yeah, it seems like I could be right.
I don't know. But I can't really remember, but when she was flashing him through all those places, I don't think one of them looked like the place I knew it was. But that would be crazy if those were connected.
That would be interesting.
Like if I don't know.
So it's like, okay, so now we've got an interesting spot for us to be like, okay, is this where the next big issue is going to come from? Like, but if it's her, like, I feel like that's going to be like a long ways down the line, don't you think? Like, cause like that's probably a big one.
That's because they're like still dealing with stuff that Kaguya already created. They've stopped her. Kids have been born. They're in the academy. They're still cleaning up the mess. Because obviously she was the most powerful person we've ever seen in the Naruto universe. But so I think if Sasuke wasn't even worried about showing up for the New A incident, like it wasn't big enough for Sasuke, and this is what he's looking into,
it's got to be something big.
Yeah, I think it has to be something pretty big.
So that's about all the information they give us on what's going on there. And then Sasuke just goes, like, he gets up and gets ready to leave, and he just goes, Naruto, I need you to do me a favor. Tell Sakura I'm sorry. Like, okay, well, sorry for what? Sorry for just not being there. Sorry for being a terrible parent, probably. Sorry for, I don't know, random stuff and not being in the show for this long because I wanted you around.
Jeez.
Like, come on, man. And Naruto's just like, well, why not? Why don't you just come back to the village for a little while? Hang out. Go see your family for a bit. And he's kind of just like, nah. Just takes off.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is kind of hard to, like, a hard pill to swallow. If we think Naruto's a bad dad,
how bad is Sasuke?
Because if he's not even there while he's busy, like, at least Boruto gets to see Naruto, every now and then, or whether it's like he's randomly in the village. Sasuke's not even in the village. He's doing some, like, reconnaissance or something. And if Naruto is telling him to come back and see his family,
that's pretty bad.
What does that mean? If Naruto's telling you to go see your family and he's like almost a hypocrite of that, that means that Sasuke probably hasn't, I don't know how long. How long has it been?
Probably a while. But, I'm telling you, if this is the only time we see him for a very, very, very long time, I am going to be so mad at the show.
Yeah.
We better see him again soon. And better get some information on him.
Yeah. I'm thinking whether it's like this next thing that happens or the next one, like it's going to be a serious thing where Sasuke's involved. But I also feel like if Sasuke's involved and Naruto is, they have to let these characters kind of develop a little bit so they can be of some kind of use. Otherwise, they'll be just watching them, and Boruto and the kids are, evacuating people or something. Which I wouldn't mind, actually, because I love Naruto and Sasuke.
Oh, yeah, I'd be cool with that. That'd be fine.
Yeah. But anyways, and then we get the second ending. What the heck is going on?
I have no idea.
I totally forgot to write this guy's name down, but it's the Osuki clan.
Yeah, something like that.
Otsuki. I remember saying that a lot in the previous episodes. But anyway, so the guy's on the moon. Well, the guy on the moon, because he's the last one left. From the two kids of Kaguya. She had two sons, and one stayed on the earth and was the Sage of Six Paths, spreading, ninjutsu and all that kind of stuff. Not ninjutsu. Yeah, ninjutsu. And then the other brother went up to the moon to create a family, but they were to watch over and keep the earth safe. So this guy's the last descendant, and I can almost remember the name.
Or the Six Path tattoos.
Yeah, I think it's because they're like more of a pure line. Because when Kaguya came, she had a kid with a human, and then the Sage of Six Path, he had a kid with a human, then human. But it seems like the Otsuki clan up top, it kind of gets weird because if they all have these tattoos, that's kind of weird. But it seems like they haven't gone as far away from their origins, because he has all that. I don't think he had the Byakugan though, from when I'm remembering, because I know he doesn't even see. He feels everything around him. Yeah, still has those tats. He's pale, all the good stuff. But anyway, so he's just chilling on the moon. We've already seen him once. He appeared to Boruto in a dream, told him that, he's going to be the savior of the world, all this stuff. But then, so I guess that was kind of what he was talking about. But then we hear him say, well, the Niue incident's over. The portal that was opened up by Niue has been closed. So this, I don't know if it was while all that stuff was happening with Boruto, and that was the portal he's worried about. But, so anyways, he said, it's over. But then he ends up saying, I don't even know who this is. Jurgen's turn won't be coming up for a while. However, it's only temporary. And then, so he's talking about all this kind of stuff that we have no idea what he's talking about yet. And then this random crack appears, and it looks like, something cracking through space and time almost.
Yeah.
And it appears right next to him, and he grabs it, and it just goes away. So I'm not sure if he was shutting something, but yeah. So then after he does that, he said, "In time, the gods will descend on this land," and that's kind of what the people on the moon are there for, to stop the Earth from being invaded. Almost they're just there. But then it goes to so after he says that, I think we're seeing what he's calling the gods. Well, descend on this land. We start seeing this random weird guy dressed up in all white with a veil over him. And then he's just chilling, eating some fruit on some random rock planet or something. And then another guy just appears out of nowhere, kind of like I forgot what jutsu that was, but it's where he can mess with space and time. It was the Kakashi, and but Kaguya could do that too.
Yeah.
So if anything, it looked like how Kaguya did it. And some random big dude, they both look alike, have the same clothes and everything.
Weird colors and all that, yeah.
He shows up and then starts talking about universe 16 or something, and how something's bent in a certain way.
It said something like if it bends like past 60, or it's bent at like 16%, and if it passes 10%, they're supposed to tell her.
Yeah.
That's about it. And I was like,
yeah, and then the guy like chilling and eating seems like the superior person. This is his subordinate. But then that guy sitting down says Kaguya's Kaguya was supposed to harvest that land. And we know who Kaguya is. She was the big bad person. Mm-hmm. And so it seems like they're pretty chill with her. So I'm thinking, how do you up stuff, in these types of shows? Like, you had one random Kaguya person. She's a part of some kind of massive clan that's super powerful. And so what do? Instead of one, just put two of them there. And she was part of a family. But apparently she was supposed to harvest this land. And I'm thinking with everything that happened at the end of Shippuden, like how, the tree came up and like it took everyone's jutsu and it made that fruit. I'm thinking that because she ended up like, not doing that, she got like married and all that, kind of fell in love with the human race. I think she was supposed to go there and harvest them. But instead, she messed up, kind of a thing. So I think that's what's going to go on, and I'm pretty sure they're the gods that are being mentioned. Because if you think about it, when she showed up, she wasn't like all powerful yet. Mm-hmm. It was when she ate this fruit that showed up with her. Mm-hmm. That's when she got like crazy powerful. And then the whole tree thing at the end of Shippuden was to get that fruit back, because she took all the chakra back that she came with, because the chakra came from this random fruit.
A lot of weird stuff.
So I don't know if these guys are as powerful as she was when she ate that fruit. So she might have had power, but then this chakra fruit that gave her like crazy superpower. But these guys, if you look close enough, they had Byakugan as well. So I'm not sure if they had a renegade in their forehead, but I didn't see that. But yeah, so it looks like her family's coming back to town.
Could be.
And
I'm kind of sitting here thinking, like, remember like watching the Marvel movies, whichever one, and there was that, I can't remember what episode it was, or what one of it might have been Captain America or one of them, and you had the cutscene, and there's one cutscene where it's Thanos back there, and then we never hear anything about that for like years and years until Infinity War. I kind of feel like this is like one of those where it's like, oh, we're giving you this random cutscene about this information, but it's not going to actually come to fruition for a long, long time. Like maybe like somehow that might be connected to what we see in the very end episode.
Yeah.
When Boruto is much older, or the very end of the whatever's going on. That's just what I have a feeling is going to happen. I feel like this is just like a glimpse into the far off future of what's coming.
Yeah, you could be right, because this is a good time to do it. At the beginning of the series still, right before we get a bunch of filler episodes. And yeah, how is Boruto supposed to fight them if he's the savior? So, and I think now, too, that when the guy in the moon was talking about Boruto's going to be the savior, I don't think he was talking about the new incident anymore with all this stuff happening.
I doubt it, yeah. It was just too simple and too fast, so.
Yep. Well, anyways, we could speculate forever after the end of that episode, but this episode's got to end.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, thanks for being here. If you didn't know, catching up with Boruto, you can find us on any podcast platform. Find us on Instagram, not Facebook. Twitter, our website at notaclick.com, and that's click as in like a group of people, QUE, not. But I don't know why I do that. It's so stupid. I don't know, but
I just let you go with it.
Yeah. Anyways, and so you can find us there, find when we're doing these podcasts and all that. Trying to think if we have anything else.
No other shout-outs or anything?
I don't think so. I didn't look.
I didn't see any last time I looked.
Yeah.
But let's take
We can look. We can take a gander.
Why not?
Let's see.
Some more one.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. We did get another review, but it didn't have anything. No comments. I saw we went up one, but hey, that's a good segue.
There we go.
If you are an Apple Podcast listener, feel free to go ahead and give us a 5-star review. And if you give us a 5-star review and leave some comments in there, we will shout you out. That really helps the algorithm of letting us be seen more. So that's why we talk about it. But that's all I got. Trey, any final thoughts?
Abracadabra.
All right. I think I'm dead soon.
Yep.
You just killed me.
Yeah, pretty much.
See, aren't you glad I know those things now?
I am.
I would have been like, what would you just
What
say?
are you talking about now?
All right. Well, anyways, guys, 3, 2, 1. Better late than never. That's our ninja way. See you guys.
Peace.